In this video, I'm going to show you the dummy-proof method to take a giant glass panel like this and inlay it into a wood slab like this, while still accounting for wood movement so your glass doesn't shatter a year from now. And I'm going to be demonstrating on this big piece of glass that I had cut by a local water jet company, and again, I want to get a perfect dummy-proof inlay, but still account for that seasonal wood movement. So what I need is a negative made that allows me to have about a 1/16 of an inch perimeter all the way around this glass, and that'll be enough so the wood can breathe seasonally around this glass. And I have some important numbers here for you. I'm using a 1/2 inch router bushing and a 1/4 inch bit, and I do have a free guide for this on my website if you want something quick and easy to reference. But the important thing here is you keep it pressed against that glass the entire way around. The next step is more dummy-proof where you can't really mess it up, but right here you need to ensure that router bushing stays right against that glass the entire time. The next thing I did was bring my wood slab in with the glass positioned exactly where I want it, because this glass is designed to kind of flow along the lines of the grain. I wanted to make sure I had this inlay positioned exactly where I needed it, so I ensured there was a consistent perimeter all the way around this negative that I've created and the glass that I'm going to eventually be inlaying. The next numbers you need to know is you're going to use a 1 inch router bushing and a 3/8 inch router bit. And the math here was a little bit complicated. I did run it by Terrence Howard. He said I nailed it, so we should be good to go. And this is where we're in the dummy proof stage, because that brass bushing doesn't allow you to go over that template, over that negative. So you just keep routing away until all the wood is removed. And it was a little time consuming, a little bit messy, but all in all, a really, really simple kind of dummy proof method of getting this perfect inlay. And I think I could save a step in this process in the future, but for now, this was a really easy way and I feel really good about how this went. The main downside to using that 3/8 inch router bit for all of the wood removal is it didn't leave the cleanest finish, so there was a little bit of cleanup required with the block plane. I was a little worried initially that the block plane would affect the level of the glass, but in the end, there was no visible difference of any part of this. This is a Grabo. It's a battery-powered suction cup. It's a really cool tool that I use for a lot of things and was really nice for moving this glass around. There were a couple of spots on this glass that were too small for that 1/2 inch router bushing to fit into, so I will have to clean these up by hand. If you want to avoid this, just make sure you don't have any little nooks and crannies that are smaller than that 1/2 inch, but it really isn't very difficult just to clean them up with a chisel. Just make sure you give that same kind of 1/16 of an inch buffer all the way around so that wood can move seasonally around this glass. That is essentially all there is to it. We did a couple of test fittings to make sure that there's enough breathing room all the way around the edge. Also remember, this piece was cut by a water jet, and the cool thing about using a water jet is we were able to double dip. I did this one kind of clear green piece, and I also did this charcoal inlay, this charcoal glass piece here. I personally like the charcoal, but let me know what you think.